Andrew Tate is back. As you know, guys, Andrew Tate has been banned from all social media out there, but he is not going out without a fight. So Andrew Tate went on an interview with Piers Morgan for a whole hour, and they talked about all these different subjects that he was hated upon and the reason why he got banned. Now, I will not be reacting to everything and watching everything except these couple of clips that were on the channel by Piers, and the title of this video is Andrew Tate, Women Belong to Men in Marriage, on women being a property. Now that title really got me, and I want to see what Andrew Tate has to say about this and what Piers has to reply or ask or add. I feel like this is gonna be spicy.
Do you think women are the property of men?
No. The point I was making...
Why have you said they are?
Because I made a religious point. I said that when a man marries a woman, the woman's father walks her down the aisle, and hands her away to the man. Traditionally, this is what it says in the Bible. I'm a religious person. I believe in God. I live in the most religious country in the world.
So you do think that the woman becomes the men?
I think she takes his last name.
I mean, let's watch the clip that you said about this,
sure,
so that we can get it in context.
So I think my sister is her husband's property, yes. When a bride is walking down the aisle to marry the groom, the father walks next to her and gives her away. True or false?
Absolutely.
But I've been married twice, as it turns out, and on both occasions, I didn't believe that the woman was being handed to me as chattel, as property.
Perhaps the way the reason I'm asked that question repeatedly, and I'm asked in a loaded way.
So would you rephrase what you said there?
Now, that's an interesting point about phrasing. The way I would say things before I was famous, I have to take personal responsibility and accept that if I make a video that 500 people see and 1% of them misunderstand it, that's not a problem. If I make a video that 5 million people see and 1% of them understand.
So specifically on that point, I think my sister is her husband's property.
She took his last name. She married him. She wanted to join his family. She has said it herself.
Right. So she's
still a sovereign individual. She's absolutely not a sovereign individual.
Property means that the husband owns your sister.
Listen, my friend, if we want to argue about this, you need to go back to the Bible, to the Quran. You need to argue with religious.
I'm not talking about anything.
He's just talking about the word property, the definition of property itself. You just can't use that word and not... Oh my God. Okay, I'm just going to keep watching.
In the Bible or Quran, I'm asking
but that's what it says.
No, I'm asking you what you think.
I think that if a woman marries a man and she decides to take his last name, that they have different roles and responsibilities within that marriage, and I believe that...
That's not the question.
I believe the father... The father hands her...
Don't behave like a politician.
The father hands her to the man.
Right, but don't be a politician, because I think you're a straight talker, right? You keep telling me you're a straight talker. I think my sister is her husband's property. Do you regret saying it like that?
I understand that with my newfound fame, perhaps it could be phrased differently. However, I still believe that a woman is given to the man in marriage. That's what I believe.
Yeah, but not as property.
No, property is the word that other people use when they ask me the question.
But as an equal partner in a loving union. That's what marriage actually means. It doesn't mean that when you get married, the woman is given to you as a bit of chattel.
Agreed.
So why say it?
But that's the way that people ask me the question. People say to me, they ask the question.
You can't blame...
Literally, exactly. You can't blame people for asking you a question in a specific way. Now, hear me out. I understand Andrew Tate's perspective. Yeah, I understand his perspective from a religious value, and that is totally different from what he went out and talked about. He doesn't always specify that it's religiously like that. You know, he says it is like that, and full stop.
Blame people for asking you questions. Surely, if you want to be accountable for what you've said, you've got to own your responses, not blame the question.
I own the response.
Like me asking you a question now, and you say something, and then say, well, actually, I blame you for asking.
I understand, Piers. Piers, I understand. I believe the woman is given to the man. I believe she's given away by the father. I believe she belongs to the man.
So
fundamentally,
you do believe that a woman becomes a man's property at marriage?
I believe she belongs to the man in marriage, correct.
Right. Oh, you see, that to me is misogyny.
And you're entitled to your opinion.
Right. But do you not understand why people think it is misogyny?
I understand why some people can be very offended by what I say. What they do is they take a point like that and they ignore all the other points I make the other way around.
Yeah, but that's why I've repeatedly asked you about that line to see if you've changed your position. But the reality is you haven't.
It's not about changing positions. I'm a full-grown adult and I stick by the things I say and I'm responsible for them.
Which, by the way, is fine.
Absolutely.
But what you did say at the start of this little exchange, you said, you know, I wouldn't maybe say things the same way now that I did before I was famous. And
I'm sorry, guys, but like even adults can change their opinion and they can learn from their own mistakes. It's not like you are already like a full-grown adult that is like perfect and can't change or can't make a mistake. How many adults have apologized for things they have done in their life? Think about it.
And actually, you've doubled down and said exactly the same thing.
On certain points.
So that is what you believe. And that's my point.
Yes.
I'm trying to work out, look, I don't know you. We've just met, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out who Andrew Tate is and what you actually believe. I don't want to twist anything at all.
Then let me make it very, very clear to the camera. I believe a woman is given to the man in marriage. I believe that. I also believe a man has a duty to protect and provide for her. I believe a man should lay down his life if something happens or his wife's life is threatened. I believe that women and children first are on the lifeboats.
But men,
I believe that men.
But a man doesn't own a woman.
It's not. No. It's okay.
Unless they literally buy them as a slave.
Well, obviously, we're not talking about that. We're talking about religious, biblical marriage. We're talking about something else.
Yeah, but I'm a Christian. I don't believe that I own my wife.
Do you believe your wife was given away to you when she took your last name?
I believe that there is a process where a father traditionally walks his daughter down the aisle and hands his daughter to this man, and they stand there and become a union of two loving people in a partnership. No, there's no ownership involved.
I didn't say ownership.
He's not selling her. The father of the bride isn't selling his daughter.
No, absolutely.
That's what property.
Literally, property is owning something. An object. Back in the day, a person equals slavery. Like, semantics, guys. Honestly, when you think about it, it's a play with words. It's a play with words.
She becomes a member of your family.
Is it?
I think we're arguing over semantics.
Exactly.
We're not, because fundamentally, I don't believe a man owns a woman. You do.
Well, I don't think a man owns any sovereign individual. I don't think we live in the world of slavery. I don't own any men or any woman.
Right.
Nobody owns
When
anybody.
you use phrases like property, that's what you imply.
I understand.
And so my point again is, you're a smart guy, right?
Correct,
There's no denying that. You're a smart, you're a good talker. I've seen a lot of the stuff. But what I don't think you quite fully understand.
No, I understand very well,
when
Piers.
young, impressionable people
who
are not as smart see things like, I think my sister is her husband's property, yes, and you've just reaffirmed that belief, they think that they have the right to own women.
I understand that very well, Piers.
That's why people think you're a misogynist.
Completely. I understand all of this very well, which is why when you're saying I was backtracking, I'm not.
Do you have any regret, though, over the way you phrase this stuff?
Well, this is the point I was trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is, when I was not nearly as famous and I was making long format content, I was not sitting there anticipating I'd become the most Googled man on the planet and that a few seconds could be taken out of context. That was not my anticipation.
No, but it's still what you believed. It's what you believe now. So what's the difference?
It's not about, you're asking me, you're saying that young people who are impressionable.
If you said to me, look, Piers, honestly, I've had time to think about this.
Say that he doesn't change.
I don't believe that. That's one thing. Actually, you've said the opposite. You said, actually, that's what I think, yeah.
I think that when
it doesn't really matter whether you recorded it when you're famous or not famous. It's what you actually believe.
Your opinion.
Right? I believe that a man has a duty to protect and provide for a woman. I believe that a woman's father gives her away to the man. That's what I believe, and that's in my marriage. That's the circumstance I'm going to live under. If people want to live in a different scenario, that's completely theirs. Their prerogative.
To be honest, I wish Piers asked him another question or rephrases his questions because Andrew can continue on that. Like, for example, if Piers asked him, okay, so when she's given to you, what does that really entitle to you? What can you do, like, in marriage with your woman? Like, what is the things that you are capable or able to do with you? You know? Because I feel like you say given and property, like he's above the woman and he has entitlement over her and he can do whatever he wants. Like, it's an authority kind of thing, you know? I actually would like to see more, and I'm gonna be continuing watching this probably. So let me know in the comment down below if you want to see me react to the whole thing and share my opinion. Andrew Tate is a really smart person. However, he doesn't understand that a lot of people he preaches to or talks to take things out of context, and they are not the smartest or the most intelligent, and they don't read between the lines, just see it as it is, and they just follow like sheep. That's where the big problem. If you reach a lot of people, like millions of people, and a lot of them are young people who don't understand what you really mean. You really need to be specific about what you mean. If you're talking about the religious factor, you have to always include religion in that. When I say that I understand why he comes from a religious perspective, is because I'm a Muslim woman. My parents were Muslims, and I lived in Jordan, in an Arabic country, for 13 years of my life, and I do understand that perspective of giving a woman to a man. However, I also understand, like, back in the day, when a man goes to the woman's father, he usually gives father money or gold or camels back in the day as payment for the woman. But also, we can go historically and see how many times people got married in order to unite two countries or families that are very important, and that's how together they grow the power of a specific place. That has nothing to do with religion. That's back in history. We're talking about today. Thank God today is not like that anymore. Thank God women and men are equal in marriage today. And I hope Andrew Tate is not actually trying to think. I tell you guys. That is it for today's video. Let me know if you want part 2 by liking the video and commenting down below. Oh, also, Andrew Tate lovers, you fans out there, I'm just waiting for the hate, you guys. I am just waiting for those negative comments that I will never read. Alright, see you.